Action fanatics, welcome to another edition of the Bulletproof podcast. I am your host, Chris the Brain, and joining me once again, it is the Toyman, Chris DePetrillo.
That's right. There's no Android stand-ins for this Toyman. I am here live and in person to talk with my friends in the action world.
Thank you so much. And joining us as well, it's Ryan Campbell.
Hey, everyone. How are you?
Oh, wow.
Oh, awesome.
I think we have AI, Ryan. I don't.
So here, what you got to do.
Generic welcome gave it away.
I love the idea of automatic for a podcast. It's a great, it's a little underserved. No one talks about it a lot. Let's break down how we're going to talk about it.
I don't know what's already happened to this program.
Here's the plan.
Oh, here we go. I don't know. This show's already off the rails, and we
threw the brain off, Ryan. Look at that. See, the brain can't contend with AI. Ryan.
ChatGPT broke brain.
AI and me are mortal enemies this year, so I can't.
Does the AI stand for annoying interface?
Yes,
annoying
it does.
Idiot, more like it.
Okay, don't be so hard on yourself. Now listen, we're here to talk about automatic, but before we get into that, I want to talk about bulletproofaction.com because we are wrapping up April here. Last week, as this drops, Ryan, you gave us your thoughts on the season finale of Invincible.
That's right. It was a fantastic closing. They went a little bit kind of Game of Thrones route where the penultimate episode had all the action, but there is plenty of drama and a huge setup for next season. And they did also announce that they're going to be trying their bestest to get them one season a year, which is nice. Super exciting to celebrate Brain. Cheap plug for my other YouTube channel, Ryan Cam Studios. I uploaded a 3D print and paint of a Invincible and Omni-Man statue that's up on there. So you guys can go check that out if you don't mind. If you'd really appreciate it. It's kind of cool. See what I'm up to. But yeah, it was really good. And go check out the review that we did up. And hopefully you guys liked it. Invincible is great. And I'm glad, Brain, that it is coming back. And this wasn't the series finale. As I, for some reason, thought. I don't know why.
Don't wish that upon us. We need things that do well to continue to do well and to continue to show up. Again, as this drops, my review for Apex, the new Netflix movie, will be up there. And again, we're pretty much done with April already, and we're going to be moving on to May. And Toyman, you're going to be busy in May because you're going to be recapping the final season of The Boys and season 2 of Daredevil: Born Again.
Two great shows, both having great seasons. With The Boys, like you said, this is how we're going to wrap things up, at least as far as the main show in that universe. I'll be sad to see that one go. And then Daredevil: Born Again, that has just been on a streak of amazing episodes. So I'll be very happy to talk about and summarize what we've seen this season so far, because we don't do AI for our movie reviews, folks. Bulletproofaction.com is nothing but dedication to the films that we watch and the reviews that we write personally for you to read and enjoy.
That's right. Nothing but passable, mediocre writing for you over on bulletproofaction.com.
That's right. Those typos.
Myself there, yep.
Those typos are human.
That's right. Well, unless you account Grammarly pointing out all my mistakes, that might be AI, I guess. I don't know, but where would I be without it?
We've got we'll also have reviews as Ryan has been teasing us for the past few weeks. Summer blockbuster season is coming, and we will have reviews of Mortal Kombat 2. And are you excited about your Star Wars movie yet, Ryan?
I don't know, Brain. They released a trailer that looked a little bit better, and I'm a Mando fan. I've got a life-size Grogu statue at the edge of my kitchen that just sits there staring. And I dress it up in the holidays and everything. I got a Mando helmet on the wall. Yeah. And I don't know, man. I feel nothing. I guess the last trailer was a little bit better. They've also been really coy with what the heck the thing's even about or like why it's a thing. I don't know. Hopefully, I'm really hoping I'm going to go into the theater and just be. It's all just going to be wow.
Yeah,
Like
you
just,
got that bar.
Okay.
You got that bar real low.
The bar is very low, and this is so like again. I like everything they put out. I liked, of course, Andor. Everybody loved, but I liked, Acolyte. I like everything. So this is like the most apathetic I've been towards anything Star Wars in a very long time.
Something you might need.
Seeing them at ringside at WrestleMania didn't sell you?
It did not. No, I don't know. I just don't get it. I can't put my finger on it. Why? I know other people can because they're just like, oh, Disney bad and stupid stuff. But I'm not even that person.
All right. Well, there you go. And of course, we'll also be talking Mortal Kombat 2 here on the podcast, but I'll be covering it on the website, bulletproofaction.com. And if you've been over there to bulletproofaction.com, you may have noticed once again, we've got a contest, folks, because we are giving away Primate on Blu-ray. Primate, it's all about a group of friends vacation that turns into a terrifying primal tale of horror and survival. And Primate is now available on DVD, Blu-ray, and digital. So you can pick that up. Or again, you could try to win a copy by visiting bulletproofaction.com for your chance to win. So
it kind of plays at that like cardinal fear we all have of primates in a way. Like if you ever see like that weirdo like at the park, I remember we used to go to the park with my kids when they were little. There was this guy in town that like just had a monkey. And he would be like wear dresses and stuff, and he would bring it around, and it's just like, even though it wasn't that big, you just know that thing is 3 times stronger than him, and if it decided to just snap at any moment, it would like rip all these kids' limbs off.
Yeah,
it's just like this weird like uneasiness whenever they're around. So this movie
that
really
lady that like lost her face or whatever, like was like 20 years ago.
Yeah. I mean, there's been stories of those things. Those whatever reason they just snap and you're screwed at that point.
This may be a good time. We're talking primates. Maybe I should talk about the Harambe Memorial Battle Royal.
There you go.
That's coming up.
Does the winner get their dick out, Brain?
I doubt that. This is a family-friendly pro wrestling event from our friends over at Spot Monkey Promotions. May the 1st, this Friday, as this drops, at the Batavia at the Elite Athletics Sports Complex, and I think I'll be there. I think I'm going to be there.
If you're listening to this and you head out there, please walk up to Brain. Please, he would love to sit and chat with every single one of you.
Yeah, I'm really
not
good
with your dicks out though.
Oh my word! No, again, this is a family event. The big Harambe Memorial Battle Royal. It's been 10 years.
See Chris Hansen show up at this event, sponsored by To Catch a Predator.
And we've got our friend Paul London will be there. He'll be in action. So it's going to be a good night of independent wrestling. I haven't been to an independent wrestling show since the last time I went. It's just sometimes nice to sit there and enjoy an independent wrestling show
without some old friends.
Plenty of old time friends there at the Spot Monkey show. So that again, if you're in the Cincinnati area, it's in Batavia to be exact. We will be having a big battle royal for Harambe. So come on now, that's something good. So you can go to the battle royal. You can go to bulletproofaction.com.
Hopefully, a secret android doesn't enter the battle royal.
I understand there may be some actual primates in the battle royal.
Ooh, interesting.
Or maybe they're escape extras from the Planet of the Apes movie. I'm not sure, but I do believe. So you may want to check that out. But let's get to down to business here. What we're really here to do, and that is talk about a movie that was released on June 8th, 1995, Automatic Toyman. Is this one you saw back in the day?
I do remember it from HBO. It's not one that has stayed with me as much as some of the other films that we've discussed or that have been written about on bulletproofaction.com. But I do remember this one. I believe it was an HBO premiere, kind of like how Night of the Running Man was. That was when they were on their run of doing their original movies or original releases.
Yeah, on IMDb, it did say June 8th, 1995 TV premiere. So I assumed it was one of those HBO Saturday night movies.
So I do remember it from that like 10 o'clock hour, 11:30 at night, seeing it a couple of times back then. But shockingly enough, this is not one that is in the collection. So it was one of those ones that just kind of fell by the wayside. And every now and again, I'd be like, oh, yeah, I remember that one. But I don't have this one on tape like I do with so many of them. I'm not even sure if there actually is a DVD because I think most of the versions online are uploads from the VHS.
Right.
So I think this is one of those rarities that we've come across.
I feel like I've asked you guys this before when we've talked about the, like HBO premieres, but did they shoot those and make them for HBO, or did HBO just buy distribution rights and then keep them as a?
I'm guessing, yeah.
All the distribution rights.
Yeah. It was not like HBO was making these. They weren't like HBO originals. They just they just needed content for their, because again, you didn't have a big theater movie every week that you could show. So sometimes you have
and their home box office. So like it would,
right, exactly. So yeah, this one I don't remember from back in the day. It's one I stumbled upon on YouTube and reviewed it back in 2017, and that was probably the first time I ever watched it. And yeah, to your point, Toyman, I think it's never been on DVD. This is all seems like VHS. If I just to get it out of the way, if there's one issue I have with the movie is how dark everything is.
It's very dark.
Very much so. Yeah. I mean, we're kind of burying the lead with it, but this is supposed to be kind of like that cyber dystopia future where everything's industrial. And I mean, obviously they're working with a low budget. You're confined to the office building / interior setting. But yeah, when they're going through basements and stairwells and elevator shafts and
not even that, even like the labs and like offices are like super dark and dim.
Yeah. And then you have
would you say that it's quasi futuristic?
I suppose I could. But even though, Dr. Evil had good lighting for his quasi futuristic situations. And yeah, it also didn't help that a good chunk of the characters in the movie are all dressed in black. So that just adds to it, but we'll get there. The opening credits, we see that an artificial human is being made. In Toyman, he looks a lot like Olivier Gruner. With
a fantastic collarless dress shirt, a staple of 90s fashion. He was dressed to, did not look as imposing as one would think the main star of an action movie would look. Looks very Joe average, your average American citizen, but there is more than meets the eye with the man wearing the collarless dress shirt and the sweater vest.
That it was pretty funny to be in the sweater vest in the opening there. That is like,
he looks
what
like
is the most unassuming way that we can?
Shot.
Yeah, how can we make this android look as unassuming as possible? Put him in a sweater vest.
So yeah, we open up, we get a father tucking his daughter in for the night before he goes downstairs to join his wife in their living room, but suddenly there's a home invasion. Or is it? No, this is all just an elaborate commercial, Ryan Campbell.
Yeah, not even a commercial, a year-old commercial at this point. We find out that this was the commercial that came out a year ago that launched the company into the stratosphere, and now the Goddard Marx is relishing in the success of the campaign here a year later.
Yeah, Rob Jen, they launched the J series, and so they show what happens if you don't have the J series automatic in your home, and then they show you how he would thwart it if you did. So who wouldn't want one of those in their home if they could afford it? So again, yeah, the board of directors, they're like going crazy. They're hooting and hollering.
They were like, they were on cloud 9 with the situation for most of them.
And then you mentioned,
say that even creepier than the home invaders was the sound effects used for the dolls in the daughter's room. Like, it's almost like it's setting up like a, Puppet Master, Child's Play-esque situation here.
To tie into John Glover, it felt very much like the Scrooge promo. Your life might depend on it.
Yeah, John Glover. I mean, again, I had seen this movie. I had reviewed. I almost forgot he was in it. And there he pops up. I'm like, oh, that's why I think this is one of the better Olivier Gruner movies. It's got freaking John Glover in it.
And he's doing his best shit-eating grin.
He's so good.
Hype man way that he does. Yeah.
He's so good. And so he's there. He's beaming pride because tomorrow they're going to have a big press conference to release the next series. But Mr. Barker there, he's like the sales bigwig, and he's like, the J series practically sell themselves automatically.
He's so proud of himself for that one. He was even more proud of himself than Toyman was at the open here.
I was just gonna say that. I was gonna poke fun at myself. Thank you, Ryan.
Toyman. Barker was played by Stanley Campbell, and Toyman remembers him from Melrose Place, Father Dowling Mysteries, and The Fall Guy. Isn't that right, Toyman?
Oh, you missed the biggest one, because he played the mobster, the father of Rebecca Gayhart's character on 90210, who ended up putting a hit out on Dylan McKay, and his own daughter was killed in the process. Major storyline.
Wow.
If you were growing up on 90210 like I was.
Thanks for spoiling it for everyone who hasn't watched. But there you go. Tomorrow, again, there will be this big press conference that's going to change the world. And they make mention that whatever their new product is going to be to service the more affluent members of society. But as we get into this, I think I'm not going to spoil it. We'll get there. But not everybody in the room is happy about this, because you got the banker man, Raymond Hammer. And
he's going to bring that hammer down.
Yeah, we've loaned you all this massive amount of money. We're ready to foreclose. Your competitors are doing things better than you, and this and that. And, this, whatever you're about to announce, I think it's too little too late. And Raymond,
you might as well be wearing a sign like "Secretly Kill Me,"
right?
One of your androids, the way he's going off.
And he was played by Dennis Lipscomb, who Toyman remembers from T.J. Hooker, Death Ring, and his favorite, Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman. True
Definitely Death Ring. Definitely Death Ring, but I'm surprised you didn't throw a Scarecrow and Mrs. King reference in there.
I thought about it, but
I figured that you would. I figured that would be the trifecta. You would end on that one.
No, I like Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman. He played Ulysses S. Grant in that episode. And I know you're a big history buff. Anyway, Marx is like, hey, Raymond, come on, give me a 2-month grace period. Once we get this thing announced, you're going to get your money back and then some. It's huge. What we got is huge. And he gives him he gets a little sneak peek we don't get to see, but he gets a sneak peek to kind of shut him up. But now let's meet our two administrative assistants, I guess. They almost seem like, I don't want to say secretary pool, but they're the ladies of the company.
Well, there's a notable in talking about show me, don't tell me. One thing they do is you'll notice that it's all men at the table.
Yes,
and they're behind them in the theater seating style seats are all the women taking notes and stuff.
Right, exactly. And they're at one point told to leave the room because obviously they don't want them to see this, know more than they need to know about this big announcement. There's Julia, played by Penny Johnson-Gerald, who Toyman remembers from She's the Sheriff. Right, Toyman?
I remember her for something even more infamous than that. I mean, I do remember She's the Sheriff. I've actually got a couple episodes stored away on the hard drive, but she was in the original, the Wes Craven Hills Have Eyes 2, which is infamous for being a horror film that features the dog from part 1 having a flashback to the events of the original Hills Have Eyes.
Very interesting. And I don't believe you admitted to having She's the Sheriff on tape. Nora is the other lady, and she's played by Daphne Ashbrook, who Toyman remembers from Gimme an F.
I do remember Gimme an F as well, but I was actually surprised at where I knew her from because I wasn't thinking ahead as I watched this. But in the early 2000s, she played the mother of Ryan Atwood, the main character on The O.C.
Of course. I tried to give you one there. The last time I saw Gimme an F was when I was living at the Campbell house, and it was on late on one of the encores. And I'm like, I hadn't seen this movie since freaking sneaking up, staying up late at night on a Friday or Saturday and watching it on the movie channel. And I'm like, oh, I shouldn't have been watching it then. I probably shouldn't have been watching it at that point either. I should have been sleeping.
I just appreciate the fact that this podcast over the last several weeks, we've taken detours to focusing on cheerleader-based R-rated comedies. So I can appreciate that.
Well,
We're gonna have to do a Gimme an F Fired Up double feature.
Fired Up's not a cheerleading movie.
That's true. It isn't. It's very true.
The director commentary is very adamant about that.
Well, Julia is fed up with the old boys club that runs RobGen, and but she doesn't mind looking at J269's ass. Now,
she's a
There's
little.
lot of
She's a little.
J269s to look at.
Yeah.
She's a little curious about what's going on anatomically down there. Are they Ken dolls or are they full access? I don't really know what I was going for there, Brain.
Well, I don't either, but
I've been sick this week. I'm on cough medicine. You might get some whacked out shit from me this week.
All right. Yeah, this week. That you have an excuse.
Is it automatically anatomically correct? Is that what you're wondering, Ryan Campbell?
No, that's stupid. Anyway, Nora, on the other hand, she's a model employee. She's able to fix shit.
She'll stay late. She's a real go-getter.
Panels and just watch this.
A real people pleaser there. Just never says no. Just whatever they need from her, she's willing to give.
But Julia don't like that. She's like, you need a better work-life balance, girl. And she's like, I'm happy with my life the way it is, by God. So Mr. Barker has Nora, and he's like, yes, I need you to work late. We need to work on the Asian ad campaign of this product that you know nothing about, and I'm not going to tell you anything about it. But that's because he has her there for a much more sinister reason, because he wants to rape her.
Yeah. I think at first he's trying to just floating it to see if she's into it.
Right.
But he eventually is like, no, he's gonna get his, whether he likes it or not.
Yeah, she wasn't picking up on what he was laying down, so he was just gonna make her lay down. And she resists. There's a statue on his desk. It breaks. This gets the attention of J269, who enters the office to see if he could be of assistance. Nora is pleading for help, but Barker pulls rank, and then he's like, you got to get out of here, J269. So he leaves, but Nora's not, she continues to say she needs help. And he has been programmed to help the employees of RobGen. So his programming is really strict, Toyman. He's on task at all times.
He is, as the military would say, just following orders. And luckily for her, that's what he continues to do. But, he's kind of like Batman. He's not supposed to kill. And the self-defense, the help, if you will, kind of backfires on him. Because before you know it, Mr. Barker is no longer among the living.
Yeah, Barker's dead. J269, though, okay, something went wrong. I need to talk to my supervisor, and that is where we meet Buck James, played by Troy Evans, who Toyman remembers from Lou Grant.
He was in a lot of stuff. This guy, he's a very famous character actor.
Yeah, but your favorite is still Lou Grant.
Yeah, I mean, can't resist Ed Asner. The man was a legend.
Did you hear that, everyone? Toyman is a thing for Ed Asner. Can't resist him.
Hey, Ed Asner did play Johnny Lawrence's stepfather.
He's got an Ed Asner poster up behind him.
He does. And it says,
right next to my Ted Knight poster from Too Close for Comfort.
I don't understand why it's like Ed Asner, like in a pinup. Like he's like leaning over an old car in like Daisy Dukes with the hose. I don't know. It's kind of
there's that word bubble that says "I like your spunk."
Yeah,
Ryan. I know you were feeling sick this week. Are you trying to get our audience sick now as well?
Yeah, he is.
It's trying to bring everybody down to my level.
Misery loves company, as they say. So he calls Buck James, and when he mentions we should probably call the cops, Buck's like, no, let's not do that. I will call Mr. Marks. So just hold on.
He's not going to get any deader.
No, right, exactly. We'll be fine. Let's figure out what the boss wants us to do. Outside, we should mention that there's like union members who have been picketing and protesting outside of the RobGen building because they fear this big announcement Marx has been teasing will be that automatics will be used as laborers. So these men will be out of a job.
Ripped from the headlines, Brain. There's a obviously we know about AI taking a lot of jobs, but there's also multiple different startups trying to create physical robotics that will take over all kinds of jobs. And a lot of people are wondering, what the hell does that mean for a decent, like, are we going to have universal basic income? You must have to, if we're going to lose, 80% of middle and low income jobs to machines. So, and that's very timely, ripped from the headlines.
And that's you got to think about that. You're right, because that's fine. All right. You got these robots, you've got AI to do all this work. But if the fucking consumers have no goddamn money to buy the shit that you're making with these robots and AI, what's it matter? This whole fucking thing's fucked. Anyway,
welcome to late stage capitalism.
God damn it. Let's get back into this movie because we meet Gloria Takamatsu.
Yes, the white Jersey family, famously known as Takamatsu.
Well, I would assume.
I'm glad you brought that up, Ryan, because earlier when Nora was asked to work on the Asian ad campaign, right around that time in the movie, we saw like a news clip on the TV, and it was very clearly an African-American woman, but her last name was Wong. So for some reason, there's a lot of Asian undertones, a lot of Asian references in this film.
I mean, my first thought was they bought the script from what might have been a Asian studio, and for whatever reason didn't change the names. I've seen that before. It happened with movies.
I mean, that is possible. That's a good point. Just buy it on the cheap and just leave it as is.
Or maybe this was, because there was a time where like the Japanese were buying up everything here in America,
including people.
And but they had to bring their men. Their men had to come over here.
So that's her married. Takamatsu is her married name.
So they were just marrying these American women. And
to be fair, though, most reporters don't go by their married name.
Exactly.
They still keep
she would have used some kind, or just would have had a fake name altogether, like a stage name. But she was played by Annabelle Gurwitch, who Toyman abso-frickin-lutely remembers from TBS's Dinner and a Movie.
Absolutely. I mean, the many, many ads that ran through WCW programming. How can you forget her?
Yeah, she was good.
I remember Dinner and a Movie.
You do remember, don't you, Ryan Campbell? You probably. What movies do you think you watched on TBS's Dinner and a Movie?
I don't freaking know. I just remember like the bumper like bits and stuff they would do. But I didn't know it was her.
It was her. So Marx is telling Buck that they need to, we can't let anyone know that an automatic killed a person because they're programmed not to kill a person. So we're going to have to figure out who else to blame for Barker's death. Then Marx gets on the little video call monitor and says, "Hey, J269 and Nora, why don't you come on down to the security office?" But J269 can't because his programming says a crime has occurred. I must wait here with any witnesses until the police arrive. So again, he is laser focused, this J269. He is not straying at all.
That's right. He's obeying those 3 laws of robotics.
Marx,
even though he killed someone.
Well, yeah, and that's probably, again, going to mess with him, and we'll see that as it goes on. But Marx then tells Buck, okay, we're going to just have to get rid of these 2. We just got to get rid of them. Call in Major West and his team. So Major West was played by Jeff Kober, who Toyman absolutely loved in Falcon Crest.
I can't say that I even recall him from Falcon Crest, but I mean, you want to talk about a guy who's got a hell of a resume. I do not watch The Pit. The wife does, so I will catch it from time to time, but he's most recently been on that. So I guess being in such a heavily nominated show for all these awards and everything is good for him. But
Prestige
I
television.
remember him. Yep. I remember him. Brain, do you remember? I'm sure, Ryan, you probably don't. Do you remember the Anthony Michael Hall movie Out of Bounds from the 80s?
Yeah.
It was like the action movie he did in like 86.
Yeah, I think I covered that at some point. And I had not watched it. Yeah.
And he was also, he was in The Walking Dead. He was the leader of the pack of survivors that was trying to kill Rick and rape Carl.
Yeah.
and he was also in Sons of Anarchy. So he was in a lot of highly regarded series, especially in the 2000s on up. But he's been around forever. I watched Out of Bounds again. It popped up on Tubi not that long ago as a recommendation. I just left it on in the background. So
Yeah, I think
he
that's
has
how I
quite a
watch.
career.
Yeah, if our friend, the direct-to-video connoisseur, was on this week as he was last week, he may have started to sing "Leader of the Pack." I think that's one of his favorite songs. To be
Actually,
honest,
speaking of our friend Mr. DTV over there,
yeah,
Jeff Kober, I believe, was in Demolition High.
I believe you're right as well. You're right. We might have to cover the Demolition Highs at some point, but we'll get there, folks. There's only 52 weeks in a year, but we're getting there. We're getting through. We're talking automatic. Who would have thought that?
I didn't even know it existed until
earlier
today.
There you go. So yeah, Major West is on the way, but Marks calls and like, hey, don't worry, J269, the police. I'm doing air quotes, everyone. The police are on their way. All right, so they get there, and J269 is like, oh, there's armed men on the floor above us. And Nora's like, yeah, it's the police, dumb shit. Okay. But
God, you robots are fucking stupid.
then there's this airship, Ryan Campbell, outside the window. What the hell? They've got futuristic flying machines in this movie.
Oh yeah, it's weird because like the movie, it walks this fine line of where like the sets are really dimly lit, which usually they do to hide stuff because of low budget. But then a lot of the like effects and action and like props and all that look really good, and like they like put effort into it. So I don't know if it's just a matter of being really wise with where they put the money they had to spend, but yeah, they shoot up the room, and it becomes very clear that they're not the police. Yeah.
No. But yeah, J269 sees Barker's gun on the floor, and he just with one shot blows up that fucking airship. Beautifully done, J269. You're real good at this. And then two of West's men repel from the roof, and they hit J269. But now we find out, Toyman, he can repair himself.
Yeah, he's like an android Wolverine. He's got a program that he can heal his wounds. Obviously, he can't die like an actual human being can, but he's been stopped enough where he's down on the floor, and then we get a little bit of a look into his internal mechanisms, his internal programming, and he's just like, boom, let's recover and let's go kick some ass.
Yeah, it's like somebody opened the door and he went on the floor, but then there was nobody to walk the dinosaur. But now listen. Yeah, he gets rid of those guys. Now above, though, the floor above, we got West, and he blows a hole, I guess, in his floor, which is their ceiling, and then they just start shooting and throwing shit down there.
It's a cool little breach device, though, to like cut the hole in the floor. More cool little tech that they've got. Just to remind you, this is a futuristic set movie.
Indeed. And Buck is at this point ordered to shut the whole building down. So now let's cut what lights we did have, folks. We're going to be on emergency auxiliary lighting now. So get ready for more darkness. And again, I have to wonder, would this movie look better if it got a Blu-ray or, if it got redone in a digital format? Or is it just dark no matter what?
It's hard to add light retroactively. You can, if it's there, if the fidelity is there, you can do a lot of things with it. But if it's not there, like there's only so much you can do before you just blow it up and it looks like shit,
Maybe that's why they never put it out. They're like, well, that's going to look like shit. Or is it just one of those movies that
with it being like a direct to TV, let's just say movie, I doubt that there's like a archived version that they could go back to like the source and kind of
we need
really
prints.
Crank it up. Yeah, like the original prints. They would probably just have like some sort of copy of it, and it would be really hard to
when Toyman doesn't even have a VHS copy of it, it's very rare.
That's why what's his name on YouTube? The Movie Man, the rare and hard to find movies. He's truth in advertising over there. He
is the movie man. He is hopefully nobody shuts him down, but he's the movie man. Bless you for your service to the action fans who want to watch these movies that no one else bothers to put where we can get them. So yeah, you're doing a service, movie man. We salute you here on the Bulletproof podcast. Anyway, they get out of there, and Marks is like, okay, Nora, go to the 6th floor. J269, you're going to have to go to the lobby. All right. This makes Nora a sitting duck for Major West, who, when he gets to her, tells her, back in the day, I would have raped and tortured you for days. But due to time constraints, I just have to kill you.
What a line.
What a
That's
sick bastard.
I know.
But then we get the vacuum distraction, and the vacuum comes into play throughout.
The vacuum looks like the one from Mystery Science Theater a little bit.
I was just gonna say it looks like Gypsy. Good call, Ryan Campbell.
Gypsy. All white Gypsy. They just spray painted Gypsy and threw it out there.
And I'm gonna tell you what, you don't want to drop anything in this building. Like if you lost a contact lens, fuck you.
That sucker comes flying out.
In quasi-futuristic land, they probably all had their laser eyes fixed, so they didn't need corrective lenses.
Now, as the father of a child who plays sports, and Ryan, I'm sure you can attest to that, and Brain as a dog father who has a dog that likes to run amok in the backyard, I think we can all agree that we all wish we had these vacuums in our house.
I didn't know where you're going with that. I thought you were going to talk about like kids having glasses or something, and then you mentioned Brain being a dog. I'm like, does Remo have contact lenses? I'm so confused.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't. He's got perfect vision for a dog, I suppose.
Does he have like sunglasses like Spuds McKenzie?
No, he might wear them though. Probably not. Remo's a very particular dog.
It was a 40-year-old Budweiser commercial reference for you folks out there.
Very good. Yeah, Toyman. You don't have your chief competition here this week, who would have probably, I don't know, had like a rosy Bounty paper towel reference at this point. I don't know, but he may have. She'd be like, that vacuum was like the Rosie of paper towel. Like she was on that shit. When something spilled, she was right there. Anyway, now we're going to get so yeah, the vacuum distracts for a moment, and then J269 comes back. He does not go to the lobby as ordered. So he's there to help Nora. And now, Ryan Campbell, we finally get what we've been dreaming of for minutes, a Nora and J269 team up.
Yeah, and this is kind of a significant moment that this is like when he actually seems to defy his programming for the first time. Because everything that's happened so far, there's like a little bit of a loophole that kind of like, well, he didn't actually kill the guy. He was defending an employee and an accident happened. And, well, you know, and it's kind of like they're finding little ways to kind of find the gaps in his programming to allow for this. But this is the first time that he's just straight up like, bullshit, I'm not doing that. And goes back to help her out.
And they kind of explain it that, you know, since he did kill a guy and that was never supposed to happen, that's like kind of starting a chain reaction of
It's almost like he's becoming. They don't ever play around with the idea of becoming self-aware, but now that he's like broken down that barrier, it's like a cascading effect.
Right. It's almost like a virus is going through him now. So, we get the team up. Nora's like, okay, let's call the police, but the phone lines are blocked. All right, maybe an email will work. I'll email Julia. And the email is like kind of coming through. It's odd. It's like almost like in real time you see her typing.
She like literally has an email machine.
Right. And yeah, there's an email machine, which that wasn't how things worked, folks. But I guess, I mean, your phone is an email machine, but it's also everything else. So you didn't get that one right automatic.
Yeah, you didn't have like a 12-inch CRT monitor in your house. That's like the email machine.
Right. Well, Toyman may have, but the rest of us didn't. So yeah, the email, but she's talking to her cop boyfriend who's working late, and she said, "Oh, you're gonna miss out because I'm ready to boink." Or anyway,
I was looking at a robot's ass all day, and I'm ready to party.
I'm horny. I'm a horny woman. Anyway, I think we've got us a nominee for this year's So Horny Award. She was horny for a robot ass. Yep. So there you go. Thank you very much. Movie. We got a nominee. I'll make a note. I probably will forget. But anyway, So yeah, she's not seeing this email, and then by the time
You might have two in this movie because someone else is gonna get pretty horny in this movie.
okay, don't be spoiling things, Toyman style. Listen now. So yeah, she doesn't see it, and then by the time she's done with the email, it's like, oh, email is also blocked. All right, so now Nora decides I better try to fix J269. Why she thinks she can do this? She just really wants to remove his shirt, I think.
She's starting to get a little curious. Like in the beginning of the movie, she's very much like calls him, stupid, and then he kind of gets offense to the Tin Man line that he gets called, and she's kind of like, "Oh man, maybe you're not, that's weird that line upset you."
Mm-hmm.
And then she finds out that they're kind of warm. She thought they'd be cold, so she's like, starting to warm up. Yeah. She's gonna be exploring a lot later. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. Meanwhile, West has now lost a bunch of his mercenaries, Toyman. So he has to call in backup mercenaries. And what a backup we have.
We have Epsilon, who, as you noted, I would remember as Shiva from Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
Right.
But actually, she is someone who has a little bit of experience with our leading man. Because if you recall, just a few years prior to Automatic, she was in Nemesis.
She was Marjean Holden. Yep, she was in there. She did a lot of 90s action, both in front of and in some stunt work, and she's good. She's if there's ever an action rumble that's all ladies, I'm guessing you're going to see her in there. Anyway, meanwhile,
Brian, I love the dynamic she has with Wes, though.
Yes,
these two, the movie cannot get over. As soon as they introduce, every time that they interact with each other, it's just like sass. They just first one to kill buys breakfast. Do I have to do it? Do I have to get him again? It's just like witty banter between the two of them the entire time.
Right. This is a quality movie. If we could only see it, you understand?
These are the villains. They're like the Skeletor and Evelyn of this action movie here.
Right. And now Marx is having a video call with Takamatsu, he's trying to defuse the situation, and he's just really lying his ass off.
They've already had a helicopter explode outside. So
they're like, what was that explosion?
Yeah, all the people outside are kind of keen to something's going down.
And obviously they notice everything's kind of shut down, and why are you at the freaking office at this hour? Like, something's going on in there, and I want to know because I'm a reporter. But he's like, oh, no, we're fine.
She comes from a long line of Asian, white, Jersey, Takamatsu reporters.
Right. Raymond also calls. I mean, the phone lines are open, and they're hopping, and they're lit up like a Christmas tree. And so Raymond's
like, Goddard Marx, and I'm taking you into the evening night.
The evening night. Thank God. I hate the afternoon night. Son of a bitch. When it gets so dark, no, you don't want that. Anyway, he calls and he's like, I'm going to foreclose on Rob Jen. You got a murder. What's going on over there? This does not align with the wholesome image of our bank. And behind him are two women who are very horny themselves. We almost got a threesome happen here. And
at least it made sense as a joke with him talking about the wholesome image. It was kind of played for laughs a little bit. It wasn't like the Kickboxer 3 threesome.
4.
Or not Kickboxer, the Kickboxer 4.
Yeah, this was very much more of like, hey, we're on HBO. We might as well show some tits.
Right.
Yeah,
exactly. And again, in this case, this man is obviously has a lot of money, because that's how he could be involved in this situation where I don't know how any of the three people, I guess they were I guess he was just one of the fighters. One would have to assume in Kickboxer 4, and he just was like, hey, I'm a fighter, ladies. And that's what you're here
Tong
for.
Po was keeping them supplied. Don't forget, Tong Po in that one was a sex trafficker, so it made sense that he
had women who were more than willing to entertain the fighters, or even maybe just have been a staff member. Maybe he won like Employee of the Month, and that's what you got for being Employee of the Month for Tong Po.
Maybe they were just ring rats, Brain. I don't know.
That could be too. that, you're right. Maybe he brought those women with him because they're the ones who drove him there and paid for everything.
Right. Let them
Did all
sleep
that.
on their couch and got
Yeah.
some.
And he's like, okay, I'll give you what we've solved that problem. The Epsilon team has arrived, and
you'll find that out when you come down for the Spot Monkey show, Brian. All the rain rats that are going to be out there for you.
For me. For me. I didn't.
Your harem of Cincinnati area rain rats that you've got.
That's not a thing. Anyway, Nora is done poking and prodding, and then just randomly takes a drill to J269. What is she doing? But anyway, she's done.
You just said it.
Yeah, she's done. She fixes them somehow. But again, we did see earlier, she's very handy, and we'll find out more.
Yeah, the movie tried to establish that she
but
fixed
still, it's one thing if you can frickin' set your VCR, and another thing that you're making a cyborg. I don't know. The mercenaries, though, they're good. These mercenaries are not just good at banter, they're good at finding people. And they find Nora and J269, but again, our heroes manage to escape in the nick of time, as heroes often do. Then we cut back to Julia, who's now seeing this news report about trouble down at RobGen, and she's like, "Oh, Nora, I hope you made it home." So she's calling. No answer. She gets
rickrolled by the voicemail.
Right, she does. And then she's like, "Okay, well, I'm going to call the police because I need to see what's going on."
Which was like a FaceTime. It was,
they got right.
FaceTiming everything right now.
But it was like FaceTime mixed with an answering machine.
It's something we don't have yet. No, you don't have FaceTime.
You don't have where you could leave hi,
hey, what's up?
Glad you called, but I'm not really here. Leave a message. We don't have that yet. Come on, somebody, do that. When I put in my review, I logged in my fact that I saw Normal with Bob Odenkirk. The minute I put that in my letterbox, a Bob Odenkirk video popped up on my phone, thanking me for seeing the movie and sharing my opinion on it. I was like, what the hell's going on here?
That's weird. Yeah.
I've never seen that before, but I guess, these things are happening.
That's why you say don't track data when you fire up that app. Do not allow the app to track your data.
All right. I'll try not to. Anyway, where were? Oh yeah, Wes is getting frustrated. This game of cat and mouse, but Epsilon's like, "Hey man, don't you? We've never failed before," which is a red flag that they're probably going to fail before. Then we get this amazing elevator shaft sequence, and at one point, Toyman, Nora is hanging on the bottom of the elevator.
She's hanging on the bottom of the elevator, but before that, we get a little bit of Spider-Man action from J269. Yep. He just kind of lets himself fall, but he's gripping the sides of everything, kind of hopping down towards
gripping the sides of the shaft.
Yep. But no, she's riding that elevator down the shaft. Yeah. And it's going faster and faster. I'm going to keep going with this pun as long as I can, until she is grabbed and pulled into the hole by J269 to avoid splattering all over the shaft.
Just as the elevator is coming down. And another narrow.
I appreciate elevators that have a rapid descent into the ground mode.
Well, he did some kind of tomfoolery with the panel there inside, if you recall.
But it popped up and said emergency whatever mode, and it just whoosh.
There you go. Well, again, it's the future. They now end up at the RobGen Museum, which is about to become one of the world's most dangerous museums. Ryan Campbell.
Ooh, because it's just so dimly lit, you're going to trip over an extension cord.
I was going to say the shootout, but that too could be a problem. But before all that, we do find out J269 does see the diagram and that he does have a heart.
Yeah,
and
that's
he's
a sweet
not
moment.
the Tin Man.
We also get one of the C-3PO, I guess early prototypes that just is an all silver version, but they have a very feminine British butler voice that almost sounds like C-3PO when they talk.
Yeah, that's C-3PO, all right.
Did we mention the test subject 269? Did we gloss over that one?
Oh, I think we did. Yeah, they found the test where it was just like a torso,
just shoved in a closet.
Kind of looked like Peter Weller from RoboCop, like he was bald and kind of all singed and wires coming out of him.
Yeah,
also played by Olivier. But.
Oh, Olivier Gruner, he just was all over this movie. I mean, I'm surprised
this was his movie, quite literally.
I'm surprised there's not people wondering who played all the different J's in this movie.
Is Olivier Gruner a triplet?
Idiots. Anyway, yeah, he does find out, but Buck is watching all of this unfold, and he's like, "Oh, that J269 man, he's got some skills." Ray shows up, and he's like, "Oh my God! If all the people who own a J series find out that they could kill you, there's going to be lawsuits. This company is fucked. This thing is dead. Just shut it down. We're done here." So again, Ray is just a freaking dark cloud over our man Marks. And now we get some more shaft riding. This time it's like this shaft that goes to the incinerator.
Yeah, they gotta take the side route at a certain point as they're.
I did wonder what you needed an incinerator. Like, I wouldn't imagine there's much paper. There shouldn't be paper being used in the future.
Yeah, because we already have the email machine and the FaceTime answering machine.
Yeah. Maybe it's for like hard drives and incriminating shit. They just figure they can send it down there and it'll just get burned up.
Maybe, perhaps.
Old J stuff and security tapes of like mishap and scientists getting their arms ripped off. Just send it down to the incinerator.
That might be a good call. So they get down, they stop before they get into the actual flames, but now Epsilon is like, okay, they're downstairs, let's gas them out. And now one has to wonder if Nora is falling in love with J269, or does Nora just want to 69? Someone answer this question for me.
Yeah, she's come a long way from where she was in the very beginning of this relationship. I don't know if it's like a quasi Stockholm syndrome in a way, but she's quite smitten. And maybe it is. She just needs a good lay. I don't know, Brian.
Oh my word! I don't know.
I don't know women.
Maybe she watched Making Mr. Right before work that day.
There's our cricket moment for this week.
Nobody remembers Making It. I mean, I can understand if Ryan Campbell doesn't.
This cricket moment brought to you by Cricket Wireless.
Ooh, right, yeah. Toyman could actually be worth something on this program. Get us a good sponsorship.
Do you not remember Making Mr. Right with John Malkovich, where he was the android?
Yes, I have a vague recollection. I don't know that I've ever saw it, but yeah, I know.
Only on this podcast will you get a whole group of people that remember "Give Me an F," but only one remembers a John Malkovich movie.
"Give Me an F" was quality entertainment.
It was on cable.
If I was up late at night and Making Mr. Right came on, and be like, "Fuck this shit! This could have been on at 3:00 in the afternoon."
Yeah, I agree.
I want some titties. God damn it!
But if just one of the guys came on in the afternoon, you were safe because that got away with the PG-13 rating.
Yeah. Oh, Toyman. Anyway,
back to automatic.
I think that's the first time I've ever heard Brain say, "I just want some titties."
There you go.
Those rain rats are taking notes.
Oh my word! There's no such thing anymore. The business is much cleaner. Takamatsu calls back.
Batavia, it ain't.
Takamatsu calls back. She wants in. Okay, you got to let us in. We're the freaking press, the freedom of the press. Let us in. But Mar's like, oh no, some of those labor guys, they're like they're terrorists. We gotta get that under control, and then you could come on in. Give me a half hour. Okay. So now Marks is like, looks over, and there's a J12 who works in the security room, also played by Olivier Gruner, or Oliver Gruner. However if you don't
just take your pick. It's like choose your adventure novel. Just take your pick.
Yeah, if you don't want a Frenchman talk like our friend Matt Peartree, you can just call him Oliver Gruner, and that's fine. That's fine. But Olivier Gruner is probably the
Can
proper
I say
way.
like Gruner?
You can if you want to really like do Paris talk.
Oh.
Yeah. So yeah, he's like, oh, J12. He realized, oh, he was protecting his fellow J series when I was on that call with the he was like trying to block the screen where it was showing that they were where they were. So then Marks is like, wait a minute, just hold still for a minute. And then he just like peels back the back of his head.
The virus is spreading to other units.
Yep. And he just pulls like the battery out of his head or whatever it is. The neuron, whatever.
They've got like a emergency switch that's in the back of their neck or something.
And then that's when Marks is like, oh shit. I should have thought of this sooner. Because yeah, if you would have thought of this sooner, Marks, you would have went up to the Barker's office and said, hi, J269, how are you? And just done that. And all of this could have been avoided.
Part of your program is we have to just do this to you until the police are able to scan your camera that's built into your head or something. Yeah,
I have to give them this as evidence because you have it recorded on your hard drive. Who knows? Like RoboCop. Epsilon, meanwhile, has tracked down Nora and J269, and she's like, I'm going to get these. I don't need West. And West is like, no, wait for me. She doesn't wait. And J269, I'll go up against her. Nora, you get the hell out of here. So it seems like that's what's going to happen. But Nora doubles back, much like J269 did earlier, and kind of returns that favor. And now poor Epsilon is taken out of the equation by Nora.
Yeah, Nora gets a little aggressive here. She just straight like knifes her, like has her down, gun away, pinned down, subdued. And just is like, nope, you know what? Knife to the chest, which plunges it right into her.
And yeah, her gun had Epsilon's gun had like a camera on it. So Wes sees the whole thing. He sees his friend's demise.
Oh, his work wife.
Yeah, it was. So now Ray, at this point, it's like, okay, this is all bullshit. You're done. I'm going to the office. You're done. So as he's walking away,
Mark really overplays his hand next to the guy, the guy with nothing to lose and with a gun. He's just like, I'm gonna make my life's work ruining you.
Right. And then he shoots him in the back. Take that, Ray. Ray's done. Julia and her cop boyfriend Harry are now outside the gate, but that J unit is like, no, you can't come in here. Also, again, spoiler alert, played by Olivier Gruner. So they're just out there now with the reporter lady, Takamatsu, the picketers, the all these people. They're just, it's a freaking party out there. The resistance. And at this point, the resistance has been futile, but we'll see if that continues. Now J269 and Nora get into an area where they find this new K series, Ryan Campbell, and they are all Nora's.
I gotta be honest, I did not see this coming. I just thought Nora would soften up to the idea of a android and learn her biases, but no, moving through a big old curveball. The K series are all Nora, and my first thought too was like, oh, maybe they like based it off of her.
Right. Like she was such a great employee.
Like they were like, oh, let's just, because she's almost like offended. Like, I can't believe they did this. But no, brain. Nora is a robot as well.
Oh,
holy shit.
You have to wonder, again, we have the protesters who believe that these new robots were going to become laborers. I have to wonder if these new robots were going to be sex workers.
I mean, they don't really lean into it, but the assumption I get of what quieted down Ray.
Right, because especially when we know that he's, doing having threesomes and whatnot.
Because I'm going to call the blah, blah, in the boardroom at the very beginning of the movie, and they pull out the closet and open it. And if there was just a naked sex spot in there, that's probably what it was like. Okay, you'll have your 2 more months. We're good.
And is that why Barker's like, of course, you'll do it with me because that's what.
That's
Right. I'm guessing
that's
Barker
exactly what I
knew.
was just gonna say. Is that why he was aggressive? Like, the robot's malfunctioning. She's not, acting out his fantasy or whatever.
Right. So, yeah, I don't think this was for like the affluent. This was for the affluent people with money who are also perverts, which I guess that covers a large portion of people with I don't know.
Yep.
But so there you go. Nora is also so that's why she could probably fix him, and it all make
It's all coming together now, Brian.
Yeah, it really is.
Why she didn't have any family or anything and just worked late every night. You
Right.
know.
She's a robot. Buck is now at this point like, okay, the cops, there's already a cop out there. It's only a matter of time before they show up with a warrant. And he's getting ready to get out. He's got his exit strategy already going in his brain.
Yeah, he's like, I ain't taking the fall for your
exactly.
ass, Marks.
Right. And Marks is there and he's like, hey, Marks finds Nora and J269. Hey, you guys could just leave. You know what? Let's just leave. But of course, Marks is a double-crossing bastard, and he grabs Nora, and this is where we definitely find out she is an automatic because he starts tearing away at her. And but then during all this scuffle, like something gets hit. Now all these Noras are now being activated. They're all being put online, and we're about to have some craziness. Buck now is outside. He's like, go on in. They're in hangar number 3 or whatever he tells them.
You better hurry up.
Hey, J-Series.
Storm the castle.
Right. Hey, J-Series, who's been watching the game. Let's go out for a drink. All right. He really liked the companionship of the J-Series.
He did. He liked this guy.
Friends. So now West is back in the mix, and he shoots J269, and he's like, I'm going to cut your heart out and then fuck Mrs. Tin Man. Ooh.
What a threat.
He's good. He's a quality villain. But of course that doesn't happen. J269 takes care of him. Then he turns his attention to Nora and Marks, who are battling it out. And he ends up throwing Marks into like the wall of monitors that are watching all the Noras. And then I think they escape through the sewer because then they like wash up with like a bunch of 55-gallon drums of waste. I don't know. But I think they live happily ever after. I do feel that way.
Yeah, they kind of walk off in the Buckaroo Banzai style through the
right, and it's like daylight, so you can actually see them walking off.
There is one part though where like the angry mob like are burning down the thing.
Oh yeah,
and there's a good shot of like barrels and like all the like flaming torches come down like in succession, like they like coordinated this like boop doot 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 doot. Yeah. They had all that time out front though to plan it. I guess
right, they've been a lot of pent up anger. So yeah, Rob Jen is done. Nora and J269 are together. And that is our movie. That is Automatic. Toyman, your final thoughts.
This was a fun one. Yeah, as I watched it, I remembered more pieces of it from watching it back in the day. I think the ending is kind of rushed with the way like it kind of wraps everything up. And it's like all of a sudden it's like, wait, Nora's one of these. Wait, the company's getting burned down, and now we're just going to walk off into the sunset. Earlier in the film, the action was great. We got obviously some martial arts action. It was very much in the veins of doing like a Die Hard, where you're relegated to like that one building or that one confined area. We even got the whole elevator shaft scene and everything. And this was another part of that trend in the mid 90s. We've talked about Virtual Assassin on here with Michael Dudikoff. We did Project Shadow Chaser 2, where something goes wrong at the big company and now we're trapped inside, and all of them had a little bit of a sci-fi twist. Really, the only thing wrong with this one is, to Ryan's point earlier, just the darkness. Some of the scenes weren't really well lit, so it kind of takes away from the action, or you kind of got to do a second glance at it to catch what's going on. But overall, this was a fun one, and I'm glad we got to go back and dig this one out to talk about it because I enjoyed it.
I'm glad you mentioned Project Shadow Chaser 2, because anytime anyone mentions that, or even if it just pops into my head, you know what I say to myself? I want to watch Project Shadow Chaser 2 right now. I won't do that because instead I'm going to go to Ryan Campbell's final thoughts.
Yeah, I would say this is one of those movies I feel like just really punches above its weight class, is the way I can describe it. It just it's a really kind of competently well put together movie, and it was like really surprising. I had no idea what to expect. Brain, you sent me the link for the movie. I didn't look at a poster. I had no freaking clue what automatic meant. So I was pleasantly surprised. The movie is well paced. The action's good. You get a big twist at the end. You've got good villains. It's just really a really fun movie. Again, that's really short, under an hour and a half. But yeah, like I said, punches over its weight class. There is the issue with the lighting, and I think that's probably more but the sets that they did have were all really creative and looked very futuristic. Like the giant desk that they all work at was really cool, and like the offices, like none of it looked hokey. I think maybe they might have felt it did, so they thought maybe dimming the lights would kind of help hide some of the edges. That's the only thing I could think of. But it was really creative. Good stunt work. Again, punches over its weight class. Pleasant surprise. I really enjoyed it.
I would say that Automatic is one of my favorite Olivier Gruner movies and one of my favorite Pointer Sisters songs.
Great song.
It really is. And you know that's going to accompany the Instagram post about this podcast.
I was already thinking
100% will that be the song that's used. But yeah, this one, it's almost feels like if it was just a little bit, this could have been a theatrically released film. With the cast you had, I mean, again, Olivier Gruner is not ever going to be accused of being a great actor, but so how do you get around that? You make him a fucking android. He's not supposed to show emotion and shit like that.
I mean, it definitely is over a lot of the straight to VHS stuff. My guess is they probably maybe intended it to be until HBO bought the rights to it. They probably,
because again, John Glover, freaking John Glover's fantastic in this. Kober, Holden, the bad guys, you got it. We got good, that's always such a problem with the direct-to-video movies, or can be a problem, is one side, it's not even. One side is like you have a real great hero and there's these dog shit villains, or you just have this shitty ass hero and some amazing villain where you're almost like, I kind of want the villain to win because this guy is just
even if it was just
piece of shit.
And even if it was just Glover, that would have been that's a solid villain. But West and Epsilon I thought were two of my favorite things in the whole movie.
Yeah. It's again, you were right, Ryan. It punches above its weight class. This movie is better than it had any right to be, if only it was brighter. That's the biggest.
Just crank that brightness up just a tad.
And
I was watching on my computer monitor, and if I'd watched it on my projector or like the TV in my bedroom, I wouldn't have been able to see shit.
Right.
So I was watching it on my computer monitor, which is about as cranked as high as you can get on brightness, and it was still relatively hard to see. So if you are going to check it out, maybe take that into account where you might have the best chance of being able to see it.
Right. So there you go, folks. Automatic. We have not talked about Olivier Gruner in some time on this. I think we may have only covered Angel Town, Toyman. I think that's the only other one we've done.
I don't think we've ever done
Nemesis.
No, we haven't done Nemesis. So there you go. This was a chance to talk about Olivier. And I don't know why this one popped in my head but then I remembered, I'm like, this is a pretty freaking good movie. And it is, and it was, and it's still, and it shall always be. If you watch it again in a year, it'll still be a good Olivier Gruner movie, folks. I assure you. All right, folks, we're wrapping it up now. Social media, of course, you can talk to us there. We're at Bulletproof Pod on X and Blue Sky, at Bulletproof Action on Instagram and Facebook. We're at Bulletproof Pod on Letterboxd, and you can follow me on Letterboxd. I'm Chris the Brain over there, just like I'm Chris the Brain here too. And Ryan Campbell, YouTube. We've had some action over on YouTube. Some things have been popping off.
Yeah, after a kind of a slow March, April was popping. We had a whole bunch of really good posts. The Wheels on Meals is still doing well. Last Crusade didn't do great, but it's still got some time to maybe make some moves. But
Death Wish,
yeah. Anytime that we put Charles Bronson in a Death Wish, it seems like those do numbers on the YouTube machine. So thank you all for checking that out. And if you haven't yet, head over there, drop a subscribe, and we certainly appreciate it.
And please plug your YouTube channel as well one more time, Ryan.
Yeah. So it's called Rycam. My name is Ryan Campbell. So it's Rycam Studios, where I 3D print and paint stuff, and I will have a Invincible statue that will be going up soon.
Here's another one next week that I'm sure you've never heard of or know anything about, Ryan Campbell, but I know Toyman does, because we got some Jerry Trimble coming back, because we're going to be talking Breathing Fire.
What? And we're coming up on the 35th anniversary, I believe.
There you go, Ryan Campbell. Just for the shits and giggles, what do you think Breathing Fire is about?
Well, you were a few minutes or a few seconds too late, Brink, because I did throw it into the Google machine just to bring it up, and I'm looking at the poster now. So,
okay.
Well, unfortunately, you're just
it's about. What do you think it's about by that? Seeing the poster, knowing the title, give us your thoughts.
It looks like a martial arts movie. And I recognize the guy on the Bolo Yon on the
very good
the trailer there.
That's
so
right. There's another.
Believe it or not, Ryan Campbell, it has a link to last week's podcast. Breathing Fire has a direct link to Indiana Jones.
It does.
I know Short Round's in it. Is that what you're talking about?
There he goes. Yep. All right. Very good.
Look at that.
Short Rounds in
also
there.
Data
That's
in the
not
Goonies.
Last Crusade, but yes.
The franchise.
But yes, Indiana
The
Jones.
franchise, yes.
Yeah, they really should have brought Short Round back for Dial of Destiny. That was a missed opportunity.
Why not? He was doing so many movies just a couple of years ago.
Right. It was right after he landed the Oscar. It was kind of like back in it, and he was, especially with Harrison Ford being such a big part of him coming back to do movies again. He presented him the Oscar that he won.
Right? They should have done it. Oh well. What can you do?
Fucking Disney. God damn it.
Next week will be Breathing Fire. We'll have our Jerry Trimble one last year did quite well, and it had your favorite bus driver in it, Ryan Campbell. So
it did.
We'll see what side character you.
He was a Golden Butthorn winner.
Yeah, he was. We'll see what side character in this Jerry Trimble movie tickles your fancy the most. Next week,
Glepshido of Gary Trimble movies.
So that's next week, and then the week after, folks, that will be our Mortal Kombat 2 podcast. So big things coming up here. Anything else you want to say, Toyman, before we go?
No, that's all I have for tonight. But in the coming weeks, like I said at the beginning of the show, stay tuned for the summary, the summarization, the synopsis, however you want to call it, of the final season of The Boys and Daredevil Born Again Season 2. And then I will be going to see Mortal Kombat 2, so we can discuss that on the podcast. And then we'll see what else comes up in the month of May, because as you know, there's going to be a lot to talk about with the summer blockbusters coming up. And I'm sure some old favorites popping up on the various streaming apps.
As of right now, what are you guys most excited for summer blockbuster wise?
Masters of the Universe. I cannot wait for that movie. That is my, I mention and I joke, because I know you're a Star Wars guy, Ryan, that Star Wars was never my thing. Masters of the Universe has always been my thing. Like, this is my Star Wars. So I am very excited for this.
I think I have to agree with Toyman. I mean, I feel like I kind of know now that we've seen Superman. I have a feel what Supergirl is going to be like. Spider-Man, we kind of, it's just going to be a continuation of that. And I think Masters of the Universe is the one maybe that most intrigues me, because we don't quite know what
that is a good one. Yeah. Cause I don't really have a connection to Masters, but I am interested in what the reception will be, how the movie is. Like, that one is like, I feel like we know what we're getting with Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
I feel like Street Fighter
would be the other one I'm most curious, but again, that's way.
But like it seems like the fan base seems to really resonate with like the way they're going with it. So I'm not gonna be shocked that that's probably gonna have a good reception. Masters is just one that, like, yeah, I'm really interested in seeing how that ends up going. You got the Jared Leto factor. How's that gonna play?
Yeah. Will this redeem him in some way?
It's the fact that he has a voice change and he's in a skull.
And you
like,
never see him.
Right. You're not looking at Jared Leto. Is that going to be enough for it to not freaking matter that that's who it is?
Like, oh, he walks stupid.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I think Street Fighter again, like that's that's October. So that's not the summer blockbuster. So it kind of is in that safe zone too, where I think
You're right.
people are going to be like, ooh, we need something. And boy, that it does look like it looks like just off the wall. And that's, I can't wait for that one. But yeah, if of summer blockbusters, I would go with Masters of the Universe as well. So, and I'm just waiting to get that invite. I can't wait to tell Toyman that I get to see it first.
Is that Warner Brothers?
That's it.
No, it's MGM.
Oh, you get MGM? Okay.
Sometimes, yes.
Yeah, you get the Amazon movies. Yeah.
It's possible. It's possible. So there you go, folks. All right. Well, thank you, gentlemen, as always, for joining me here so we can continue to do this. Episode 202 is now in the books. And we will see you all. Thank you all for listening. And stay tuned for more of the Bulletproof Podcast.